I am no Jedi. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now.
We have a lot of work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
Hey everybody, it's Jimmy with Taylor. We're missing Jack.
Hello.
We're missing Jack to this evening or this morning. I guess he's probably getting ready for his 30K road march or whatever. So he's probably
Hike.
his hike. So that will be terrible.
The
Taylor,
force is with you, Jack.
Yeah. I don't even know what just happened.
I know. Speechless.
I
I feel speechless.
Yeah, I'm sitting there and I was watching this and I just kept giggling, getting emotional, looking at my wife and being like, this is everything I've ever wanted anything to be on Star Wars. And I'm just like,
It was
oh
so
my
good.
God. It was, yeah. Wow. So, yeah, I'm just going to apologize to everyone in advance. Like, this is probably going to be all over the place because once you watch the episode, you'll know why. This is going to be really hard to, I mean, if we film, so we watch the show and then we hop right on here and we film or we record just to kind of get our first reactions and our honest reactions. No time to really think, but so
I finished it like 8 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I was on a thing like Taylor, let's go! Oh my gosh, my brain is melting.
I know there was a couple parts I had to rewind. I was like, I need to back it up. So I knew you were going to be pissed at me, but
no, I understand. I wish we had time to watch it a second time before we did this, but this is good.
Yeah,
it's gonna be raw. And it's gonna be our true feelings. But so let's just go ahead and start. I just we take notes. My first note is scenery is beautiful. Like it looks amazing. The T6 sitting there in those red trees, and then it kind of goes in. And I want to see. I hope when they do their behind the scenes, they show us how they filmed Huang. Like he's so much more because he's like stop motiony, but I also feel like there's someone in a suit. I really want to see how they do that.
Yeah. Can we just take a second to talk about how good of a fighter he is?
Yes, that's what I put. I don't even know where my notes are at. I put
we're
Huang's
way off track right off the bat.
Huang's got some moves I put down. So before we get started, again, spoiler alert, spoiler warning, spoiler everything spoilers, and you do not want to listen to this unless you've watched the show. So
watch the show first and then come back and celebrate with us.
Yes, celebrate the greatest thing maybe in Star Wars. So that's
we are taking it to this right now.
Yeah, I mean, you can obviously tell probably we're just not even coherent. We need Jack. Jack's always like he's like the calming presence. He's the Balin.
He grounds us.
He's the Balin of our group. So yeah, but right off the bat, big choice. Ahsoka's sitting out there, and she comes out, and Sabine comes out of the T6 and was like, they start talking, and their conversation's really good, and then she gives them the choice: do we destroy the map so no one can get to Ezra and Thrawn? Like if we can't get to Ezra, nobody should be able to go there. So that was kind of intense. I mean, that's how it opens up. So it's like, how are you going to make this decision?
Yeah, it's serious right off the bat. But she didn't even really give her a decision, like an option. She just kind of said, like, can I count on you?
Yeah.
Like, to make the right decision. Yeah. So Ahsoka even says, like, later, like, I know your feelings for finding Ezra. Like, I know you want to find him. He's, well, I guess it wasn't her who said he's the only family you have, but she's obviously feeling that.
We'll get to that.
To that.
Wow.
But yeah, she definitely says, like, can I count on you? Because it's saving the galaxy, doing what's right,
Yeah.
or maybe finding your friend.
Yeah.
And you know, but
Yes. So yeah, I mean, I guess too, already a little off track, but episode 4, Fallen Jedi. I'm not sure who they're talking about either. Like, there's
yeah,
so much that happens in this episode. Like, I
Fallen
probably go back
Jedi.
upstairs and watch it again. But I like how when you click on the show, it doesn't have the title; it just says Part 4, and then it
Yeah,
pops up and it's like, there's the title. That's a pretty cool thing that Disney's doing with this. But
yeah, that's super cool. They did that with the last few as well,
yeah,
right?
I think so.
Yeah,
So we're there. They're having that conversation. It switches over to what is called the Henge. So we were right. It is Space Stonehenge because later on they
yeah.
go. So I was pretty happy about that. And Balin Skull delivers yet another amazing, amazing line. And she's like, they're talking about, what were they talking about, Taylor? I can't. They were talking about like Ahsoka and
uh,
Sabine coming for the map, I think.
He said, best get underway soon. And Morgan said, is that fear in your voice? And he just says, experience. Like,
Oh,
let's get going. He's like,
he
let's get the hell going.
this Balin is so cool.
He is. He's just like
Just
so calm and like
he is a
no bull for I don't want to say
yeah. Don't say it.
no
Family
bantha
show.
poodoo.
Yeah, Bantha Voodoo. There's he. I really hope we get some backstory on him. I just think he was an amazing Jedi, just with his calm he is and everything like that. Just I don't know. So
Yeah. I like that right away Ahsoka's like, well, he didn't mention you.
yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah,
uh, he spoke highly of you. It's like,
yeah. He kind of shuts her down. So from that
yeah.
scene, there's I mean that's pretty cool. They're talking about getting the coordinates, getting ready to make the jump, and so
Hmm.
this episode just nonstop back and forth between the good guys and the bad guys. And
Yeah.
this
You're
it
seeing
switch
both sides of it.
yeah, and it switches back over to Sabine with her '80s montage of getting all of her gear ready, and her blasters look awesome. She's like
Yeah.
cocking these things, and I was like, oh my goodness, like that. I mean, that was really cool. I don't know, just there's all these different blasters and stuff like. But I don't think I've ever seen a blaster in Star Wars do that kind of stuff where she's like cracking it open like it's a regular weapon and like loading it,
Yeah,
kind
putting
of.
the battery charge in it or
Yeah,
whatever, whatever they call it.
yeah,
But like, is that the same scene where she was kind of starting to freak out and panic because she was missing something, or is that a different? Was
yes.
that a
No,
scene later?
that's the same
And,
scene. I kind of
yeah,
took my yeah. So she's sitting there
and
trying
then
to like
Ahsoka comes over.
you know,
Yeah,
comes over and hands her that and kind of calms her down. That relationship is growing. They're really
yeah,
becoming master and apprentice. You've seen those kind of relationships with other other Jedi and their Padawan, so it's kind of cool to see that developing. I thought maybe she was going to be like, "Hey, you don't need your blasters," but she's like letting
yeah,
Sabine. She's letting Sabine be Sabine, so that's kind of
yeah.
cool.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, she doesn't even say like, "Oh, like you don't need those" or anything like that. Like, and that's her weapon of choice. That's what she just.
yeah,
That's her first weapon to grab. Um, and she also, her and Ahsoka are like the first to attack in all of these little mini fights that we
yeah,
have. Like Sabine's the first one to start firing right away, which we know as Star Wars fans, firing a blaster at someone with a lightsaber is like shooting yourself in the head.
yeah.
So I
Basically,
don't know why she's doing that. I'd never go for that, but they're entertaining it. Um, and she only really goes for the lightsaber when it's like close quarters, which
yeah,
is kind of cool. And she's
yeah. It's
trying, and
definitely.
yeah,
She has a fighting style, and she
yeah,
comes in from a distance, and then when she's got to, I mean, obviously, like you said, she's a little bit more comfortable with the blasters right at this point. But man, when she gets more
yeah,
practice, she will be a formidable being able to do both. She needs Ezra's.
Yeah.
She needs Ezra's first lightsaber that had like the little gun, the little
Yeah.
blaster. So that'd be pretty sweet. She'd be good with
Yeah,
that.
right? Just doubles. Like, oh, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, that'd be really good. So yeah, so Sabine's in there getting ready. Huang's out repairing the ship, and he hears something. And this is kind of like you know something's going to happen. And
Yeah,
Huang,
it almost scared me a little bit.
yeah,
Like,
that was trippy, man. Because I was like, "Where is it? Where is he?" You know, because I knew it was going to be like one of those HK droids. But yeah, Huang kind
yeah.
of holding his own, like using all of his extra gear, arms, and things
Yeah,
like
he's got
that to
like
defend
extra
himself.
arms.
Yeah, that was so cool. So, but
Yeah, and
man, that was
that's like a 500-year-old droid right there taking out these like 2-week-old droids.
yeah, like that was a pretty cool scene. I wasn't expecting Hugh. I thought maybe this is the end of Hugh Wang or something, but he held
Yeah.
his own.
For
So
Yeah, for a second I was thinking when he's like, "All done," like I've fixed it. Like I thought he was gonna get like a blaster to like the back of
yes, that's what I
the
kept
head or
waiting for.
something. That it's gonna be like some sad like, "What?" But no, he's throwing punches like nobody's business.
Yeah, it was crazy
Yeah,
scene. And then from that point on,
yeah,
it just go go go. After that all happens, it switches over to Hera, and she's running through.
yes,
Oh my goodness! I was like, and then I caught a glimpse of her. I caught a glimpse of the VCX 100 behind her, and I was like, "Yes, the ghost!" And my wife is like, "What?" I'm like, "It's the ghost." She's like, "That Lego you bought." And I'm like, "Yes." So,
yes.
um, man,
Yeah,
it
that's awesome.
was so cool. And they hop on there, and Hera does her thing, and she takes Jason and Chopper with her, and it's just cool to see
Yeah,
them. Just man, I know I feel like we're doing a terrible job, but there's just so much. Like I just so many emotions and like just feelings, thoughts and feelings going through me. But like to see Jason on there, sitting where Kanan sat a lot of the time, that was
yeah,
kind of emotional. And Chopper's back there, and then so they fly out of the home one, and there's Phoenix Squadron, a bunch of X-wings with Carson Teva, and that
yes.
was just like, oh my gosh! And like, all right, take us out, Phoenix Leader. And how did you feel when you saw
Phoenix
that?
leader. Oh my god. I had like goosebumps. I had like a huge smile. That might be right where. No, I don't think I stopped taking notes there, but I was getting close. And if you look closely, Hera lets Jason push the throttle all the way forward.
Yeah,
And he's like leaning forward, like, yeah, I get to do it. It's just like, she lets him do that all the time. Like,
it was,
I don't know.
yeah,
And when she's like walking to the ghost, the one of the other guy guys is New
officers.
Republic guy, yeah, officers is he's like, well, you can't leave, like you're not like you can't leave without authorization. And she's like, well, stop me, I'm leaving right now, like my kid's starting the ship for me already, start the ship. And like, and she just meets up with 5 X-wings right away, like, oh my gosh, so cool. We lose a few of them, rest in peace. Oh my gosh, that was horrible.
Yeah, yeah, that wasn't fun to
Oh,
watch. So
destruction. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it was.
Oh, and, okay, that conversation between Jason and his mom.
Yes, I was gonna wonder.
Uh,
He's like, why do I have
parents,
to listen?
yeah, you understand this more than anything. He goes, why do I have to listen when you don't? And she's just like, well, because when you're a general, then you can do whatever you want. But it's like, you know what I mean? Kids can't have ice cream after 5 o'clock at night, whereas we're eating the whole freaking carton, like watching our Ahsoka freaking out. Uh, like, we're adults. We get to break the rules, okay?
Yeah, yeah, that
That's just a
was.
very, yeah. And then Chopper is like, yeah, what's up with that? Like, you could just be like, what's up with that? Like, you could hear it.
Hear his voice, yeah.
He's the
So,
other
oh my
brother.
gosh,
Like,
yeah, just seeing the ghost out there, all those X-wings, I was just blown away by that scene. It looks beautiful. I mean, the ships look great. The CGI looks awesome. I mean, I've had some issues with the volume, but man, they've kind of figured it out a little bit for this show. It looks like, because I haven't really
Yeah.
because used to be like with Kenobi, it's like man, every time they used the volume, you could tell like you're like, all right, this is a volume shot, this is a volume shot. This has been I haven't even noticed any of that stuff, and then of course they jump into hyperspace, and then it cuts back. This is a lot of cut, like we said, there's a lot of jumping back and forth. It's not just how crazy we are because of the episode, but
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
there's a lot of like whales. What sounds like to me like the Purgles noises and stuff coming, and like Balin's just kind of like looking around, listening. That dude is in touch with the forest, man.
Really?
Balin
Yeah, I
is
didn't
like,
hear that.
yeah. So if you go
He's
back and listen, he's just
strong.
like listening, and then some of the stuff we'll talk about in a little bit. Every episode makes me. I mean, I'm obviously we're distraught that Ray Stevenson died, but every episode
Yeah.
of this makes me a little bit sadder, thinking like, man, like this would be incredible, like backstory or like offshoot or something with that
Yeah.
character. I'm not sure why because he barely says anything, but
But that's what's so good. Like less is more. He's
yeah, it
just you
really
can
is.
tell just like Ahsoka, it's just they're just wise. Like they've just been
Yeah,
around. So they don't need to say every 100 billion things because it doesn't really matter. So just I get it. Like when Balin and Ahsoka have their battle, like I even have it like I think I wrote it down as like battle of like
masters.
of just battle of wisdom. Like they're just so slow at it. Like they're like nodding at each other like little bits. Like okay, you go first. Like okay, you attack first. I'll attack first. Who attacks first? So like, but it's just so good, so good. But okay, back to the forest fight. Back to the
So
forest
yeah,
fight.
so Ahsoka and Sabine go to take off, and then I think what does Huang say to them before they
He
leave?
says, "Just do together. Do it together. You always do better together."
Yeah, so he's talking. Yeah, so he gives them a little bit of advice. So they're either going to do that or they're going to do the exact opposite. But they get out into the woods, and Shin Hati and Morocc come up over, and Shin looks intense, man. Like she's intense this whole episode. I mean, she's been intense for four
Yeah,
episodes, but every character makes me want to know more. Like, there is not a single character that doesn't make me want to find out. I'll read a book about every single one of them. I'll
yeah,
give me
exactly.
5 episode comic, whatever. Just give us something with all of these characters. And of course, Shin sees Sabine in her full armor Sabine. That was pretty awesome to see that live action. Like how many times we watched her take her helmet on, put it off, and then just to see her putting it
Yeah.
on and they're like running. That was man, there were so many things in this episode that just give me goosebumps and the feels from the payoff from Rebels. But if you haven't watched Rebels, you got to go back. I finally talked to my wife. I was like, she's like, am I missing something? Because something happens at the end of this, which we'll get to. And she's like, am I missing something? I'm like, we need to watch Rebels. She goes, okay, I'm down because she's really been
Yeah.
enjoying the show. Um, how did you feel about the fight scene? Like the fight scene with so it's Sabine and Shin, and then it's Morocc and Ahsoka. So how did you feel
Yeah.
seeing all that?
I I have down here 4 times the sabers, 2 times the battles. And it's like just 4 different lightsabers all going just
Oh my gosh!
oh, I can't even talk. It was really good and you can see how much more powerful Hati is or Shin is to to Sabine and it was just but like Sabine's strong and she can do stuff, but she's just so much weaker without the force. And when she
Yeah,
throws her arm out and Shin like totally winces, like oh, like she was waiting for something to just like destroy, like
yeah,
choke her, anything, and she doesn't. And then she realizes like you can see Shin thinking, and she's like, "You don't have the force." And I bet you she's also like feeling all of a sudden, like concentrating, like, "Oh my god, she does not have a big concentration of the force, like what a Jedi would appear, kind
yeah,
of that way." Like I don't know, everyone sees the force different way, but she looks at her and goes, "You have no power." And as soon as she says that, she fires off her little finger rockets
yeah. Like
right
the
into her
whistling birds or
face.
whatever. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. I was thinking like Sabine is figuring it out and she's being clever. She's being Sabine from the TV show, from the animated show. You know, I thought, oh God,
Yeah.
what's going to happen? I never expected that. I don't know why. We should have, with like the whistling birds from Mando and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
But it was awesome. She just like you know hands out in front of her, and then she's just like, all right, I got something else for you. I ain't got no power, but
Yeah.
I got some gadgets. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like, ha.
that was a really good scene. Um, and then before that, of course, Ahsoka's fighting Morocc or Merrick.
and,
Sorry, I'm probably saying it wrong, Merrick. And they're battling it out. It's
and
pretty good fight back and forth. Sabine seems really confident, and you know, with all these rumors that we're going to find out uh, who that is, and then Sabine, kind of like Obi-Wan Kenobi's on Darth Maul, where it's like bam, bam, bam,
Ahsoka.
bam, and then yeah, sorry, Ahsoka, and then just boom, one big sweep, and then Moroc's like, uh-oh, and then
Like,
poof, just what night sister magic, right? I mean,
well, it was black smoke.
it
He was
was like
nobody.
it
He
was the
was nobody.
night sister magic, right? I mean, isn't that like kind of whenever they would reanimate all the night sisters that were fallen from those
I
cocoons
guess
and stuff?
so. But
I don't
like,
know.
but she doesn't really know him that well, and it's Balin who's like, he'll do his job, don't worry. But so like, it's something to do with them, and she's like, you'll regret that decision now, and
Oh well, yes, that's
so
Shin
it's
talking
something to
to
do with
Sabine.
them. So maybe it's like how the in the what's the book you're reading? Shadows of the Sith.
Yeah.
When the mask like
Oh, takes
possesses, like
over.
I guess an old Sith like possesses a mask and they put it on someone and then the Sith is back still. So maybe it's like something weird ancient like that. Like but
Yeah.
one cut to the ribs and he's like just whoosh,
Like
like
just kind of
smoke
everything
gone.
exploded out of him or her or whatever.
It,
So
oh my
yeah, that
god.
was crazy. Not what I was expecting. All right. So Taylor, who did you think Morocc was? Merrick. I keep saying Morocc. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I
Merrick.
don't know how people is it ma,
Usually I
ma
learn from the audiobooks how people say
yeah.
names and stuff, but
Jack
well, who
says it right. I don't remember how
yeah.
Jack says it, but he says it like
Yeah.
how it is.
So
Oh God, Jack, we
who
already miss you.
we
God.
already miss you, Jack. Who do you think who did you think it was? Like you had we know everyone had a theory or an idea. Who did you think it was?
Yeah, I don't know. Deep down inside, I really thought it was gonna be Star Killer, like Galen,
Yeah.
whatever his name was. I really did. I don't know. But then there was so many different like theories. Like um there was that it was Kanan. Remember we were last week or yesterday, was it? We were saying
Maybe yesterday.
we were saying it's gonna be like Kanan or something, um and people were saying that it was gonna be Jason, and people were, and then like I saw something where it was like Cal Kestis, but it's like no, our boy is not that thin like everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know. I was looking into the Inquisitors to see if it was like maybe like an older version or something of like the same Inquisitor that we already had, because it would have been like 30 what odd years since
Hmm.
the actual Inquisitor time with the Inquisitors. So I was like looking to see who was similar, because obviously they would have upgraded their armor. I was stumped. I really was, and I was really, really looking forward to seeing who it was. And it was a bunch of black smoke, and now I want to pout about it.
Eh,
That
I thought it was Barris. I hoped it was Barris. I really wanted the ending to that story, but now that means she could
would
still
have
be
been
out
so
there.
good.
But so you know, we were on the. I saw the chat blowing up. Our Ahsoka Facebook chat was blowing up, and
I ignored it
some
all.
people were. Yeah, I was sitting there just kind of reading and talking to people, and but you know, they're saying like a lot of them thought it was Night Sister magic, and it kind of looked that way to me too. Um, it had to have been somebody, right? They resurrected somebody or something, or I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I still want to know, like, who was it? Is that all we're gonna get? So
Yeah, like who
um,
was the voice? Who was listening?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'd be curious as to who or what that was. I mean, I still think the mystery. I mean, we know obviously not Kanan. not Ezra, not
Oh
Cal,
yeah,
Cal, none of those characters. So I'll be curious to see if we get like a who was that or what was that, or because again, when we get to the end of this episode, breaking it down, there's some things that could happen pretty easily, I think. But
yeah,
so that happens, and then of course um, that he takes Ahsoka takes out Merrick, and then Sabine's like, "I got this," and they take off, and then they had that whole fight between Shin and Sabine, and
yeah.
it kind of flash forwards to Balin and Ahsoka, and Balin's just chilling in Stonehenge,
Just
space
with his
Stonehenge,
hood
and
up,
just
just
just hood
wait.
up, yeah, and she comes over, and before she gets to him, he uses that line, like Anakin spoke highly of you. I'm not sure if he's doing that to like throw her off, but he seems sincere and legit, and he only wants to
Yeah,
do and destroy what he absolutely has to. Like I, without giving anything away, like when he's talking to Sabine at the end, I think he's right about Ahsoka and Anakin and those guys. Like they only seem to do
yeah.
things one way, and wow, like he's a
Death and
whole
destruction.
yeah, and it's like, well, he's I love Ahsoka, but I'm like, damn, Balin ain't wrong.
Yeah,
Like
it's
he's like,
true. It's
I'm
so
like, oh,
true.
it kind of sucks that it's true. But anyway, so they have that, and they get into it. And that fight scene's pretty good. I mean, we went from a fight
Yeah,
scene, and then we go to that one, and I was like, how is this going to be? You got this old, older actor. I mean, I think he was 58 or something like that when they were
yeah,
filming
yeah, yeah. He
57.
wasn't even
So he
60.
wasn't. I mean, he wasn't super old, but it was a pretty good fight scene.
Yeah. Well, right off the bat, he's like, surely, like not many not many Jedi live to see what Anakin became,
Yeah.
and
So
he
he's
says, surely that must have left a mark, and it's like, what does that mean, Balin? Like meaning a mark, like it's affected her because oh my god, now my master was that, or is it
oh
he may
yeah,
have left an impression on her, like maybe she's just as evil underneath? And then she's
yeah.
like, is that? And then he said, is that why you left him? You abandoned him? And it's
Yeah,
like,
he
oh,
takes some
oh,
shots at her. I also think because you flash forward a little bit, he can like read Sabine and he's read some other people. I think he's so
yeah,
strong with the Force. He's like able to take what their fears are, and he's able to like manipulate in a way what they're feeling, and not how they're feeling, but he's able to understand what they're feeling, and that's a pretty cool Jedi power. I'm not sure I've seen that one quite used that way, which is pretty awesome that they're still coming up with fresh and new ways to use the Force. But yeah, you're right.
yeah.
I think he unsettles Ahsoka a little bit with some of his comments, for sure.
Yeah, she's like, what do you get out of this? And what he says, it's like to secure the future. And she
Yeah,
said,
and
for you, and he's like, no, for something far greater. It's
yeah,
like,
like he
oh,
says, yeah, he's got a plan, man. The greater good, he says, and
yeah.
then we get
And
that
then,
line.
yeah, he says Thrawn is gonna start a war. He's like, I'm not gonna start the war, but yep, Thrawn's gonna start the
Yeah.
war.
So that's
God.
kind of like the very last scene from all the trailers, minus the Thrawn. Now, I thought we
Yeah,
might get Thrawn, but I'm assuming that's how Episode 5 is going to open up. Probably was with Thrawn or something like that because now they've made it.
yeah,
But
because
yeah,
they're there now.
that fight's really good. Shin comes running around the corner while Balin and Ahsoka are battling it out, and of course, when Ahsoka sees Shin, she immediately thinks that Sabine's fallen, and she kind of loses her
Yeah,
focus.
she so loses her focus.
Yeah,
Oh,
and then she gets kicked off a cliff, basically. Just judo
yeah.
chopped
Does
right
he
off the
like
cliff.
hit? Does he hit her with the saber? I couldn't.
I can't remember honestly. Like
It happened
my
so fast.
yeah, and again, just so much going on and so many thoughts and feelings and what's going on. And I was like, man, don't do another fake out death or whatever. We know Ahsoka's not dead. Like the show is called Ahsoka. You're not going to kill her in the fourth episode. But yeah,
Yeah.
she gets she gets knocked off the cliff, and then Sabine comes around, and what Sabine has a hold of the map, star map,
She's
and
grabbed it, yeah.
yeah, and so she's like holding it hostage, and then Balin does his thing and just kind
Reads
of
her.
uses the Force and says, I know you think that Ezra's your only family, but he's so cool. Like, he's like, come
Yeah.
with me. He's like, give it to me willingly. Come with me, and you will see Ezra again. Like, he's perfectly honest. I really want to know what he's up to. Like, he is the most
Yeah.
intriguing character for me in this show. Um, just, I want to know more about that guy. I've got a Balin crush, I think, but his
Yeah.
such
No, he's
such
so cool.
such a well written character, and just he could have killed Sabine. He could have just been like, "All right, you're toast," but he's like, "Just come with me. Like, I don't need to
Yeah.
kill you." He's like, "There's no more death, no more destruction. Basically, just come with me willingly. Give it to me willingly, and you'll see your friend again." And that was just,
Yeah.
and then of course, Shin wakes up and oh yeah, Ahsoka slams the hell out of
Oh,
Shin with the
picks her
Force
up and
power.
throws her against the
Yeah, I was
brick
like, whoa,
wall. Yeah.
and that was a little bit of a dark side coming out, I think.
Yeah, and
But
that's when she's like panicking about Sabine, right?
yeah, so yeah, she kind of panics, and then I think she does that to Shin, and then Balin kicks her off the cliff or hits her off the cliff.
Yeah, he gets all angry. And you can
Yeah.
like see when he like you can see how strong he is compared to her and he's like pushing and they're on the sabers and they're
Oh,
pushing at each other and then all of a sudden he just like taps into like hate and it's like ooh, just like cuts through like a knife with butter. Like, oh, so
his
good.
yeah, his fighting stance and his fighting technique is really cool. It's real sharp and precise. There's no wasted motion, and it's a lot of
Mhm.
power. It's really cool. It kind of reminds me of there's a stance in uh, Jedi Survivor that you get to use. I don't use it very much. I don't think Jack uses it either. But you're like wielding this big like Knight of the Round Table lightsaber looking thing, and it's what it kind of reminds me of is that fighting
Yeah,
style, real powerful, big swings. But yeah, that scene. I
that's
mean,
cool.
I can't tell you what my favorite part of this was. And of course, the Ghosts and the X-wings all show up and come out of hyperspace,
All yeah, all at the same time, pretty much. Oh god.
and so
Oh, and Balin like whips a huge rock at Ahsoka. That one was
yeah,
like, woo!
yeah, it
Sorry.
was that fight scene was so good.
And there was
I
like
can't.
flips and like they were like doing like parkour off all the rocks and
Yeah,
Ahsoka's like she was using oh no, it might have been in against Morocc, but she did use a backwards handhold on her lightsaber
yeah, she
that for
does.
that
She
first battle.
kind of pulls out the thing, and
So
I thought of Jack immediately because I know he's been a big proponent about the way she's been fighting with her sabers, so he'll be happy when he
yeah.
sees that. Um,
Yeah, that was good.
Man, goodness, like oh, so
So they
that all
finish downloading the freaking hyperspace route, and then
yeah,
Balin just destroys the map key thing. Like, no one will be following us. It's like,
yeah. I was kind of
ah!
curious how they're going to get around it, but I think I know now. It looks like Taylor, you and I both kind of had the same emotions going through our bodies because we're just taking a break and we're looking over our notes and we both don't have anything from after the Ghosts and the X-wings come out because we're like totally pulled into the series, the show, um, and then Sabine or Balin and Sabine and Shin head off to the hyperspace ring. And then we flash forward
Yep,
to that and they're getting ready to make the jump. Here come the Ghosts and the X-wings, and they're getting ready to try
like
to
right
stop
in
it.
the way.
Yeah, that was intense. This is
Yeah,
tense.
yeah. I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna get sucked over with it too, like in the
Well,
tail whip or whatever.
yeah, I kind of thought maybe that's what was going to happen. Like that space ring, that hyperspace ring was going to like suck them in and take them. And that's how they were going to get there. But um, very cool, very sad. I mean, we lose a couple of the Phoenix Squadron X-wing pilots.
No namers, you know.
Yeah, no namers, but I did reach out to our friend that I met at the Comic Con that said they were in this show. I'm trying to find out if she was the Rhodian because she always plays Rhodians. It seems like so. I'm
Oh,
hopefully we'll I'll hear back from her. But yeah. So I did that interview a while back with Dawn and Tamara. So maybe one of them. Um,
Right.
Ship jumps, and then Jason Sandula drops the line. I've got a bad feeling. And I was like,
Yeah. And it wasn't
yeah.
even like, I got a bad feeling about this. It was like,
No,
it was his own way. Like, Mom, like,
yeah. That was really cool. That whole scene with the ships flailing around and going crazy, I was like, not the ghost, don't hurt the ghost. So,
explosions. Oh,
yeah,
yeah. We lost.
explosions
Yeah.
and just,
Rest in peace, you
I
guys.
think two of them collided. So, of course, Carson
Oh, it
Tevin
was
still
horrible.
alive, but yeah, that was nuts. And then, of course, they take off, and that's kind of the end. And uh, Hera and Jason and Chopper are like, "Whoa, what just happened?" Like, holy crap! And then I have expletive world between worlds written on my notes. And as they're spanning out, and I see that glow around Ahsoka, I'm like, she's in the world between worlds. Like, holy
Yeah.
crap!
Oh, I didn't like right away. I didn't because like I don't know. It was like she was in the water still, and the water was like going around like her Togruta head, and but then like all of a sudden you see the pathway, and it's like oh my gosh, and I'm
Yeah,
thinking like yeah, this is definitely the world between worlds. Like it's got to be right.
yeah, that was
And
one of the
then
biggest. That was one of the biggest things people were arguing about online was would Dave bring that into this? Matilda's got to be pumped. She wanted it to be crazy, and I mean, I'm loving it. Like I was like, wow. Now it's a little dangerous, I think, to bring this into live action and make it canon. I mean, I know it's canon because of Rebels, but they can do a lot with
yeah,
this. You
but like
know,
why is she there?
how did she get there? Why is she there? Like you said, I think what you asked me is she
What?
dead? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea
Yeah,
what's going on. I'm just like,
yeah.
wow, I don't
Yeah, I
know.
instantly see Jimmy's face and I go, Jimmy, is she dead?
Crazy. So
So I don't know. I thought almost like I thought World Between Worlds right away. And then we hear, hey Snips.
oh,
I
that was
didn't
so
expect
cool.
to see you here so soon. And holy, I'm sure you guys can just like hear my smile. But Ahsoka instantly is just like almost like a child again or something, and
Yeah,
she's just like
yeah.
Anakin, like
Has
completely
been.
like drops her expression that she always has been wearing this season.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That is wow. Then she turns around and I thought, okay, they've had these really cliffhanger endings. I'm like, all right, so she's gonna go to turn and they're gonna shut us off. Like that's gonna be it. But they don't. You turn around she turns around, the camera pans over her shoulder, and there he is. And I was like, holy crap. And like I just got Anakin written on my paper. My wife saw it. She's like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "You're writing your emotions down in your notes." It's like, absolutely. And he looked really good. They
yeah, he
de-aged
did. He
it.
looked younger.
Yeah, they de-aged him. He looked like Revenge of the Sith. I think he was in his black and brown robes. Looked
Well,
awesome.
well, I was looking, and I think it was just all black.
Was it all
Like there
black?
wasn't. It wasn't like his brown that he has in Revenge of the Sith. It was like
Mm.
black, and then you hear Darth Vader's
But
tune.
yeah, yeah. I always watch it with the captions on, and then it goes into Vader's theme, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh.
wow. I just wow, 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 and more wow. I want to
Yeah,
go
and
upstairs and rewatch it, but I have to get up at 4:30 tomorrow morning, so I'm not sure I will. But um,
oh.
goodness gracious, I don't even know what else to say. Like I know there's so much that we should be talking about, and I think maybe Sunday we'll have collected our thoughts. Maybe by that point
Can reabsorb it a
we can
little bit.
reabsorb it and talk a little bit more of anything we missed. But what are your thoughts overall, like on this episode? Like,
I I'm so happy with this episode. We
Oh,
got everything. We got like so many lightsaber battles. We got like amazing dialogue. We got like what we didn't expect. Like I mean, yes, this show can be predictable. Every show can be, depending on how diehard of a fan you are. But this is like it threw us off like three different times in this
yeah, for
episode.
sure. For
And
sure.
and
Yeah, it
that's
was so
why I
good.
said like, is she dead? Because Anakin's like, I didn't expect to see you here so soon. So that's why I was like, wait, where are they? And then I just realized like I have it written down like black robes. They're all black. Like, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I It's so good. We got like nice little intimate moments. We got Yang saying, "You'll thank me." Like, don't forget to pick up the eggs and milk, like from the
Yeah.
ship. Like, you know.
Kind of motherly, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we got all of that stuff. We got amazing lightsaber battles. I said that already. I
Yeah.
We got space battle a little bit. We got Hera just completely breaking the rules. Like, hell no, I'm out of here. Like,
Once a rebel, always a rebel, she says. So
yes,
pretty
and we
fitting.
have there's death in this. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't I again, I mean, I know it should be World Between Worlds and Anakin, but that was huge. I mean, obviously we all thought that was coming in episode 5. Like that was all the rumors that we were getting those
Yeah.
flashbacks and things like that. But
Well, I guess he's going to be in it for a lot longer in the next
maybe,
episode then.
yeah, who knows? Like maybe the whole episode's just those two walking through and reliving stuff. I
Oh
don't
dear
know.
God,
Like
yes.
um
I would watch it.
oh my yeah, I'll watch it 15 times probably. That's what I would like to say. If you're listening to our show, hopefully, let us know what you
Uh,
think episode 5 is going to be. Like, let us know where you think it's going to go. Maybe we can talk a little bit about that on Sunday. Maybe some predictions for episode 5. But
yeah, because now I don't even know.
I am kind of like I said. I think we've covered everything in all the trailers except for seeing Thrawn. I think that was just a
Yeah.
teaser to get everybody, emotional. But that could easily be next week. Um,
Yeah, I
yeah,
could.
but I feel like it's going to take a with that much action. It was like the mid-season, finale. I think things will slow.
Yeah,
I
like
think things will
we
slow
got
down a
so much
smidge.
stuff.
I think we'll get some exposition. We'll get some story, backstory. Maybe we'll see some flashbacks, some different characters. I don't know, but yeah, we
Yeah.
can definitely talk about that on Sunday. But this, yeah, this has everything. This is one of the most Star Wars things I've seen since Disney's taken over. And I'm not like a hater on Disney. I'm glad Disney bought it, or we
Yeah, me
wouldn't have
too.
we wouldn't have more Star Wars. I know
We wouldn't
we
have any
had
of this. Yeah.
yeah, and so good, bad, whatever. But man, this is just another like let Dave have more control. He's
Yeah,
written
this
all
is like his
these,
audition.
and then who do we know who directed this one? Was it? Um, do we know who directed this one?
Peter Ramsey. Peter Ramsey directed this episode, episode 4, part 4. And Dave Filoni is going to be directing the next episode. So apparently, our slow episode is Dave Filoni. Does that
Yeah,
mean a
who
lot of
knows? That
dialogue?
was that was really intense. I need to go back and look at because what was the guy's name again?
Peter Ramsey?
Peter Ramsey. He did something for. Did he do Andor? Did he do an episode of Mando? Right? Was he?
I'm
If
not
he,
sure.
but man, if he hasn't, they need to bring him back many, many more
Yeah.
times. If we can get episodes like that, that kind of was like a Deborah Chow kind of Mando episode with all the action. But yeah, who? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that's crazy.
There was like 5 different storylines going on at once, but it was all so
There's
good. Oh
so
my
much
gosh.
happening. Yes.
I
Well,
know. Hmm. Well,
I
how
don't.
many Loth cats?
Ooh, I want to give. This is definitely my favorite episode so far.
Same.
I want to say 10, but I do think it's going to get better. I think this is the
Yeah.
setup. I think that it'll be a slow burn. That 5, 6, and then 7 is going to ramp up, and 8's going to be insane. I'm going to give it
Yeah.
9.8 Loth cats. So just snip off the tail a little bit. just snipping off the
Yeah.
tail of the Lothcat.
Just-
No one's hurt. I mean, maybe a little discomfort. No Lothcats were harmed in this rating, but yeah, I'm gonna say 9.8 because there was just everything in that episode.
It was
So
so good.
what do you got? How many Lothcats are you gonna give it?
I was going to say 9.5 lost
Nice.
loth cats because you're right. It's not the ending, so it can't be the best that it's gonna be. I think this was like a showing you, like, this is what we got coming. Like, look what we can do. Now we're gonna get into a couple of good dialogue episodes. Slow down a little bit. I kind of hope now because we know what they can do now.
Yeah.
Like, now I can't wait for that season finale. Holy gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. Yeah. So I mean, obviously you can tell Taylor and I are still. I mean, it's been like almost 10 o'clock for me, so it's been 2 hours since I've been watching the show, and I'm still flabbergasted. And I
Oh
probably could ramble
wow, we've
on.
been talking that long.
Well, it's almost 10 o'clock. Yeah, so show will be about an hour, but yeah, just absolutely amazing. I can't wait to rewatch it and dive into it a little bit more. Um, let us know in the comments and on our Ahsoka chat and everything. Just let us know what you're thinking and feeling. Remember, we're at everything. Explore the Force. We got TikTok. We've got X. We've got Instagram. We've got Threads on Facebook. You can email us your thoughts and your feelings or your favorite parts at exploretheforce@gmail.com. So, any
Yeah.
any last thoughts, Taylor?
Just that you guys need to follow us on Facebook and join the Ahsoka Facebook chat because we are chatting this up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure you come back and see us next week when, we have it out right away as soon as it's done.
Yeah, no kidding. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, take us out,
Well,
Taylor.
well, thanks. Thanks for listening to us this week, guys. And from me, for light and life.
And for all of us, we have spoken. Probably in circles, but we have spoken.
Yes, we're
So,
nuts this week. I'm
woo,
sorry.
out of control. All right. We'll talk to you guys
Okay,
soon.
bye, guys.